Welcome to Vampires and Mermaids. I'm Erin.
I'm Risha.
And you've got a special Christmas vampire.
Dude, I've been sitting on this for so long. It's ready to hatch.
I'm so excited. It's ready to hatch. That is awesome.
So there is a section in the book about Christmas.
Woot woot.
In relation to vampires. So that's exciting. And then I have another article that I found to tell a story about a Christmas vampire. So Christmas isn't a holiday usually associated with vampires. I wonder why. But back in the day, it was. So like Christmas, New Year's is a time usually kind of believed to be magical. You know, there's magic and possibility in the air in Christmas time. And so different rituals grew up around these like moments of sacredness in the dark times, at least in the northern hemisphere. But it, like, you go pre-Christian to a lot of pagan rituals that were really big and very natural based, but also bringing light and joy into the darkest time of the year and like being a little bit protective at that time of the year.
Your evergreen trees.
Yeah. These moments back in the day, back in like, I want to say like 1500s and earlier, they would use it again to be, it's all levity. And during Halloween also, you look at this time being, oh no, things can get through. Spirits can get through at this time. And that was Christmas time as well.
Oh.
The veil was very, very sheer, I guess. And things could come through and maybe even take a victim or two back with them. So that was especially pre-Christian time beliefs. It was especially a problematic time. And harmful spirits were seen as a very, very real threat. So that's why it became customary to put up the decorations like holly, and they would have noise and color and celebrations, because then maybe the demons and evil spirits would go, ooh, that looks like too much work. I'm not going to deal with that. So from that vantage point, a number of the Christmas customs like decking the halls with holly come, singing carols, lighting candles, and flinging open the door at midnight on Christmas Eve to tell the spirits to leave them alone.
That's
right?
a new one.
Oh, you don't do that every year?
Nope.
No? Okay. Only me? Okay.
Do you? Okay. I was like, wait, what? I used to do a barefoot snow run with my mother. Yeah, that was a tradition my dad started. I don't even know. It was before I was even born, and I never saw him do it. He's dead, by the way, for anyone who's confused why I'm like, I don't have context for this. And apparently he'd run out from the farmhouse to the barn and like touch the barn and then run back or something. Oh. Well, my mom and I, after he passed away, decided that'd be a fun tradition to reenact. But my mom and I and made it into a competition of who can stand out in the snow longest.
No.
So there was a handful of years in a row that on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or whenever we were celebrating, typically with either just us or with our immediate family, we would do that. And it was awful. And I just want to say, Jill, I won every single year.
You're not stubborn at all.
No. I mean, it was bad. We'd actually have to run, like we'd have lukewarm water waiting in the bathtub because our feet would get so cold. And when you'd go get in the tub, try and thaw your feet, it felt like it was burning.
Oh,
and I mean, it was barely room temperature. Like, yeah. So anyway, sorry. That's our Christmas tradition, which to be fair, the demons were probably like, yo,
that's too crazy.
They already possessed.
Exactly.
Someone's already been here.
So I was like, is this a deterrent or is this
an attraction?
Like, right?
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, you're fine. You're doing
somebody
enough.
else has you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Gee.
so no, I have not thrown my door open
and shouted
yelled
at the spirits.
Yep. But somehow fitting. Okay,
yeah,
anyway.
Right. But in connection now to more the vampire side, those born during the Christmas period, and I've heard especially on Christmas Day, are considered to be more likely to turn into vampires when they die.
Well.
Yeah, and my mother was born on the 28th, so watch out, Mama.
Cindy.
But also, there's also another caveat to that where sometimes it's believed that if you were born on Christmas Day, you're more likely to become a vampire hunter.
Oh.
So
That'd be a fun plot twist of the pastor's wife being a vampire hunter. I kind of want that book.
Okay, Mom, tell us your actual job. So that's especially in Greek legends. Like we've looked at the Vikralakis before. And so that is a part of that tradition where you're more likely to become a vampire if you were born on December 25th. And next year, I think I will talk to you about Father Christmas because there is a connection to vampires. So that teaser for next year. But let's get to the vampire story, the Christmas vampire, a Russian Christmas vampire from 1895. I have a little photo for Erin
I
here.
See that.
He's lovely.
He kind of looks like a combination of like, actually he looks a lot like Count Olaf from Series of Unfortunate Events.
Totally see it.
Yeah, especially like the Neil Patrick Harris in the live action when they did that. That's kind of what he's giving. He's got like one eye open, one eye closed, but like the weird hair, the ears.
Teeth. He's got like 3 teeth. He's got really long fingers. But this is, again, Russian. And especially I feel like in the Eastern Europe and Russian area, vampires were more of the like gross, dangerous, just creatures with like almost an inability to talk to people. But this one is a very different variation of it. It's about a widow mainly and her husband coming back to their home a lot after he died. And so there was a worry that he should be staked before he started killing and stalking villagers. So this woman, this widow, went to a frau, and she was apparently somebody who could give like consultation and help you out. So this story comes from the frau relating what the widow told her.
Oh.
And so I'm going to go into first person for this story as the widow here. So.
Okay.
Yes. 2 weeks before Christmas, I felt so weak that I was seriously afraid I was going to be sick. Then came one evening my man and brought me a handful of herbs and said, "Boil this and drink it cold, then you will be well." But I feared it might be something bad and laid it one side, but said nothing to anybody about it and prayed to the Lord to protect me.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Her man who gave this to her is dead, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Right? So he just appeared to her.
Yeah, don't drink that. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Then my man came the next evening and said, "How can you believe I meant you harm? See, I believe in the same one God as you. I too have the grace of the Savior comforting me. Take what I have brought you, that you may be in good health for the sake of our children." Then I boiled and drank it, but this little I have saved to show you. It was a leaf of moneywort, a leaf of belladonna, and a leaf entirely unknown to us. Thereupon I became quite well. But I could not go for white clay to whiten my hut, and this worried me very much, for Christmas Eve was near at hand. So this, I'm going to pause too to talk about the whitening of the hut. There isn't a lot of data on why she needed white clay to whiten her hut, other than the fact that the poor in this region, a lot of their houses were made of that white clay.
Sure.
So it's likely something that they used to freshen up for the holidays. That was the idea, to maybe get in some of the dents that happened in your home. But otherwise, I don't know where that comes from. Then, on the third evening before Christmas, as 3 neighboring women were sitting with me and spinning, the door opened and my man came in with a sack on his shoulder. And while he was emptying it on the floor in the middle of the room, he said, "There, I have brought you white clay so you may whiten your hut before the holiday. Before the holy day. Don't trouble yourself in the future any more with such trifle. God will not forsake you." Then he turned to the stove near which the children were sleeping, laid his hand on the smallest, which was born after his death, and vanished. The neighbors saw and heard him exactly as I did. All the neighbors advised me not to touch the clay. It was sent by the evil one. I did not take it, but got from a neighbor what I wanted. Then on the following evening, as again some women of the neighborhood were with me, I invited some in to spend the night, for I was afraid of the evil one. My poor man came in quite sorrowful and cast down, and without speaking a word, took the clay in an empty sack he had brought with him and carried it out. There remained only a few particles of clay, and the place where the clay lay remained all the next day still wet. I didn't disturb any of it in order not to give the evil one any power over me. The neighbors, women, saw my man exactly as I did. On the third feast day, my youngest child died. Now it is said in the whole village that my husband is a bloodsucker, vampire. He would drag out of life still more to live on their blood, and the community hence resolved to open his grave and drive a stake through his heart, so that he might lie in his grave pinned down fast, so he could suck no more blood. Lady, help me, advise me what to do. I would rather die than allow my good man's heart should be impaled in the grave. And so that was her story that she told to this Frau.
Oh, okay.
And so this is how the Frau responded to her. She advised her to go next morning, a Sunday, to church and pray earnestly, to give the poor their money with the request to pray for the dead man, and to take holy water and sprinkle herself with it. And then the spook will vanish and do no more harm. To me, it sounds very like Eastern European.
Yes.
Little Catholic in there, kind of,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, the pray hard and it'll be fine.
Right.
You know?
Thoughts and prayers. But also, like, you know what? Your dead husband's showing up. Maybe give it a try.
Right.
Yep.
And so the widow said she'll do that, but please no money because she can't give the poor anything. She's poor herself.
Right.
And so this Frau gave her 80 kopecks. I'm not sure what that relates to, but 50 was for the mass and 30 for the poor. And so she followed the advice, and her husband returned no more, was not disturbed in his resting place. And the Frau says, too, she talks about this. Well, I guess she wrote it down. But she said, why did I advise holy water for the woman? The poor, tormented woman could only be guided into another course through her devout beliefs, a course in which she would come to her normal consciousness. And she had a firm belief in her word, and her belief helped her. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of like, to me, it sounds like she thinks she was seeing things.
Right, but the
You know.
neighbors all saw this.
Right. And that she prescribed something that she herself didn't believe in. So I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like some sketchy.
And also, there's skeptical like views on the kid that died, on whether or not the man, the dead guy, if when he placed his hand on that child, was either saying, I'll see you soon because I know you're going to die, or claiming him because he wanted him to die.
Right, what's the cause and effect here?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right?
A little spooky Christmas story.
Spooky Christmas
I
story.
like it. I love a little Christmas special from Vampires and Mermaids. If you're not already, follow us wherever you listen, like and subscribe. You can follow us at Vamps and Mers on Instagram, and you can email us vampsand with the and spelled out.
Mers.
Yeah, vampsandmers at gmail.com. Stay thirsty and keep wet.
Cover your necks. Oh, God, just whacked my face on the mic. Cover your necks and watch your tails.
Obscurantism and obfuscation.
Orally observed, gentle listener.
Gentle listener.
Gentle listener.
Gentle listener,
Obviated objects of oblivion,
Obambulating about.
offered unto you
Offered unto you.
offered unto you
In the Tapestry Radio Network.
Tapestryradio.org.
from our fancy to yours.